Hey, Billy Epphart here. I appreciate you tuning in to another vlog. And I've got some questions with me that have been sent in, of course, by our readers and watchers on the vlog and the blog. And so I've got a whole group of them here, but one of them that we have is what to do or what do I do if I'm feeling unfulfilled in my career? Well, as most of you know, I'm only 39 years old, so I hadn't lived that long. No, really, I'm kidding, but I've lived a long time. And sometimes I don't really know all the really good answers to this question, but I have some things I think I've discovered and learned over the years that hopefully I can help you if you're one of the ones that are writing in and asking that question. And one of the things that I like to say is one of the first steps you take is, number one, you discover. That means you go out and really find what the possibilities are. I think one of the greatest challenges with human emotion is our inability to see possibilities, especially when we're feeling unfulfilled or we're not happy with our career, and in some cases just not happy with our life. So one of the things you do is you go get a different view. I said in my book on Change Mastery, you got to go change your environment. And what I mean in this case of your career specifically is you need to go see what kind of possibilities are out there. There are so many. If you're viewing this and you live in a Western nation, there are possibilities, everywhere you turn and look. Now, if you're still in a developing nation somewhere in the world, then you may not have as many possibilities, but you still do. You still have a lot of possibilities, even if you're in a developing world. So an example would be to actually begin to see what other kind of careers are out there. Take the time to do your Google search. In addition to doing your Google search, also talk to other people who have different careers and find what they know of in their own life as having been fulfilled or what they enjoy doing. So I think you have to get out and then see the possibilities. And then number two is you really have to work harder on understanding yourself. And here's what I mean by that. Sometimes it's not the career itself that is causing you to feel unfulfilled, even though you may view it that way. Sometimes it's something else that's in your life. It could be a part of what's in your career, but sometimes it's just things that are happening in your life. Because remember, Stephen Covey said, in his really successful book on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that what he said in there was about who you were. You have all these different roles. So if you take me, right, I'm a man, and then I'm a husband, I'm a father, right? And then I'm a vlogger. Here I am talking to you. And I like to fly fish, so I'm a fly fisherman. There's some other things I like to do. I'm definitely a grandfather, which is really, I probably should have mentioned that as number one. And so all of those roles fit into whether or not and how you are participating in and finding fulfillment in those roles all go to you finding personal fulfillment. So those kind of things are like really important. So you first of all got to go see what the possibilities are. And then secondly, really work harder on understanding yourself, looking at the different roles that you have in your life. Now, the third thing is then if you're out looking for these roles, in other words, you're discovering, then the next step to really take is to experience what it is you're going to do. And I remember there was a man that I knew really well several years ago who was at the time a petroleum engineer when the oil industry kind of went on the skids. Now in recent years, the man I'm referring to has done extremely well in the oil business. But during that time, he thought he had a degree as a petroleum engineer. And so he thought that he would like to become a doctor. And so what he did was he actually found an opportunity with several of the hospitals in the area. We're here in the Denver area, a large metro area. And he was able to volunteer and go to work in the hospitals. He had the resources to do that. And he got to experience what it was like, even follow some of the doctors around on some of the things and do some of the things that were necessary in the hospital. And he came back to me about 6 months later. He said, no way, I would never want to have to be in that environment of a hospital. Some people thrive on it, some people don't. But he went and experienced what it was and found out he had much more of a romantic notion, so to speak, of what that was really going to be like than it was in the real world. So I think it's important you go experience what that is. Now, me in my personal life, I've made two major, what I would call major transitions. And one was geographical, when I moved from the southern part of the United States to the central part of the United States, moving to Denver. And the other one was really personally changing careers in a major way for what myself and my wife understood we were supposed to be doing. And I think in that process, the actual experience piece of it, going out and experiencing it. So one of the things, and I'm going to share this as your next step on experiencing, next part of experiencing, excuse me, and that is sometimes you can go get an education in the field that you're looking at doing. Now I know it's very expensive when I talk about that for some people, but you at least can go discover it. And if you're not sure, then go take some classes, just one class at a time. You don't have to pay for the entire degree program. So you can do things like that on experience and to help me in my transition. And then the last thing I want to talk about is risking it. You've got to be willing. So you not only experience it, go find out about it, but you've got to be willing to risk it and actually, as we say, bite the bullet. In other words, you've got to be willing to go, okay, I'm going to dive in. And let me say this to you, just encourage you for a moment. You know, good things really come to us when we're willing to take a risk. Now, some people say, yeah, but bad things come too. You're right, they do. You take risks and bad things can happen. But really, another way to say it is really only good things happen, so to speak. They will only come if you take a risk. If not, you're going to stay right where you are. And here's the thing about staying where you are, that's a risk. You know, one person said it this way, life is so risky, you're not even going to get out alive, right? So that's the truth. So you've got to be willing to take the risk and be willing to take the steps to be able to find what's next in your life. So this is Billy Epphart. Listen, I appreciate you watching the vlog, and I'll see you right back here on another video. Bye-bye.